I get it standing in the electronics aisle, staring at a sleek white laptop that promises 4K gaming on the go. You start wondering if it's worth the cash or just another hype machine. You've probably already imagined the excitement of pulling off The Last of Us at ultra settings in a coffee shop, but you're also picturing the battery draining in 5 minutes and the heat turning your lap into a radiator. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's break down whether the Thunderobot 016 with its i9-14900HX and RTX 4080 actually lives up to those daydreams, or if it's a case of flashing specs that don't translate into everyday enjoyment. First off, the thing that makes the 016 stand out isn't just the raw CPU and GPU numbers, it's how those parts are paired with a 16-inch QHD plus 240Hz panel. In the real world, that means if you're a competitive FPS fan, you'll notice the fluidity when you're sprinting across maps. No stutter, no ghosting. I tested a couple of popular titles Valorant and Cyberpunk 2077, and the frame rates stayed solidly above 120 frames per second even with ray tracing on in Cyberpunk. The high refresh rate also shines when you're just scrolling through Discord or browsing YouTube. The motion feels buttery, not the choppy feel you get on older 60Hz screens. But the display isn't the only place where the 016 tries to win you over. Thunderobot touts AI-driven power that supposedly balances performance in thermals. In practice, the laptop's fans spin up aggressively when you load a demanding game, but they settle down to a modest hum once the workload eases. I ran a 3-hour gaming marathon with Elden Ring and the laptop stayed under 90°C on the CPU, which is impressive for a machine that's packing a 14900HX. The fans do get audible, especially if you're in a quiet room, but the noise is more of a high-performance worth than an obnoxious grind. Now, let's talk about the daily grind. You're not just going to be gaming, you'll probably be using the same laptop for school assignments, video calls, maybe some light photo editing. The 32GB DDR5 memory and 1TB SSD make multitasking feel effortless. I opened Chrome with 10 tabs, launched Photoshop, and kept the game client running in the background. The system didn't hiccup. The SSD is fast enough that loading a new game level takes barely a second, and transferring large video files feels snappy. For creators who need quick access to assets, that storage speed is a real time saver. However, the strengths come with trade-offs you should know before you hand over your card. The first is weight. At just under 6 pounds, the 016 is lighter than many desktop replacement laptops, but it's still a noticeable heft to carry around campus or on a commuter train. The chassis is made from a mix of aluminum and high-grade plastic, which gives it a premium look, but the bottom can get warm after extended sessions, so you'll want a laptop pad if you plan on using it on your lap for long stretches. Battery life is another realistic concern. Thunderobot advertises a 90Wh cell, which sounds huge, but under gaming loads the laptop sips power at around 150W. In my testing, a full charge lasted roughly 2 hours of continuous gaming, and about 5 hours if I was just browsing or working on documents. If you need all-day unplugged performance, you'll have to accept that you'll be tethered to a charger most of the day, or you'll need to carry the charger with you. For a pure desktop replacement, that's fine, but for a truly portable gaming solution, it's a compromise. One feature that genuinely feels thoughtful is the connectivity suite. Wi-Fi 6 delivers stable, low-latency connections even in crowded dorms, and the laptop includes a full-size HDMI 2.1 port, a Thunderbolt 4 slot, and a USB-C power delivery input. That means you can hook up a 4K monitor for a home desk setup, or you can plug a fast external SSD for extra storage without sacrificing performance. The built-in Ethernet dongle is not included, so if you rely on wired internet for competitive gaming, you'll need to buy an adapter. Who should consider spending on the Thunderobot 016? If you're a serious gamer who wants to run the latest titles at high settings without compromising frame rate, and you also need a machine that can handle heavy multitasking for school or creative work, this laptop hits the sweet spot. It's especially appealing for people who already have a decent monitor at home and plan to use the laptop as a portable powerhouse rather than a primary display. The RGB backlit keyboard, while not a necessity, adds a nice aesthetic for streamers or anyone who enjoys that gaming vibe. On the flip side, if you're a casual gamer who's happy with 1080p 60Hz gameplay, or you're primarily looking for an ultralight notebook for travel, you'll probably find the 016 overkill. The price point reflects the top-tier components, so you'd be paying a premium for performance you might never fully leverage. Also, if you value long battery life above all,